Hello everyone, welcome to the CKA practice test exam series. Today we are going to look at how we can schedule a pod on a control plane node. So here is the question. Create a deployment called nginx deployment with image nginx in namespace default. The pod should only be scheduled on the control plane node, and we need to use the existing labels that we have on the nodes. And then we need to write a short reason why pods are not scheduled on the control plane node by default. Let's check the environment that we have. So many nodes that we have: kubectl get nodes. So we have this two nodes, control plane and node 01. You may be aware that when the Kubernetes cluster is first set up, a taint is set up on the master node or the control plane node. So this is automatically prevents any pods from being scheduled on the control plane node. So we can see that using the describe command. So let me just type kubectl describe node control plane. If you look at these taints, this is actually configured on the control plane node. So it is the taints information, and the unschedulable is the false in the property of the control plane. So if we want to schedule a pod on the control plane node, then we need to add tolerations on the pod, and then we need to use the NodeSelector property to schedule a particular pod into particular node. In short, a NodeSelector is used when your workloads are running and you want to schedule into the appropriate nodes. That's the reason we use the NodeSelector. In the NodeSelector, we need to add the any of the labels that we have on the nodes. So in this example, we'll use this kubernetes.io/hostname is equal to control plane in the NodeSelector, and then we add toleration of this node into the pod. As per the question, first we need to create this nginx-dep deployment using the nginx image in the namespace default. So create the deployment, kubectl create deploy nginx-dep, and then image is equal to nginx. Here we run as a try run is equal to client, then -o yaml, and then we'll save this yaml file to q1.yaml. Perfect. So vi q1.yaml to see the content of the file. Here we are. Now we'll add the NodeSelector here. If you want to check what is the property and how to write a NodeSelector, then we'll go to the kubernetes.io documentation site and we'll see how we can add that. Here I am at Kubernetes doc site and I'm writing NodeSelector here. Clicking on the first link that we have, NodeSelector. Here we are. So we have to write NodeSelector in this way, and then the label that we have on the node. So let's write this NodeSelector and the label. To check the label, I am opening the new tab and then kubectl get nodes control plane show labels. Here we are with the information of the control plane labels. So let's select this post name is equal to control plane label and copy it, and then navigate to the first tab, paste it here. Perfect. So NodeSelector we have added. Next we need to add tolerations here. As we have seen previously, we have the taints that is already added to the control plane node. So let's copy this taints and navigate back to the first tab. Okay, if you are wondering how to write this tolerations on the pod, then again go to the Kubernetes doc sites and then search for taints and tolerations. Open the link. Scroll it down a little bit. Here's the example. So we have to use the key, operator and effects. In our case the operator by default is equal. So what we can do in our case is we will write the key and then effect is no schedule. Okay, here is the taints that we have copied, and we'll write tolerations. Paste the toleration that we have copied here. Hyphen key is equal to this. Operator is by default equal, so we're not writing any operator, and then write effect. Why I am referring to this Kubernetes doc site, because in the real exam, when you're giving the CK exam, so at that time you will have the access to this documentation site. So whenever you are not confident on writing the YAML file, you can refer to the documentation and you can copy paste the YAML syntax or whatever you require to create the YAML or modify the YAML file. So it's the easiest way to copy paste from the Kubernetes documentation site. We are good with this YAML. We have added the NodeSelector and tolerations to schedule the pod on the control plane node. So just go through with this file. The kind is deployment. Then we have this by default labels that has been created. The name is nginx step that has been specified on the question. Replica is 1, and then again we are selecting this app nginx deployment, and then in the specification section in the containers we are using the nginx image with the nginx name. This is the name of the container, and then we are using this NodeSelector and toleration properties. So let's save this YAML file and then create the resources using this YAML file. kubectl create -f k1.yaml. Awesome, it has been created. So let's check kubectl get pod. Okay, pod is getting created, but if you want to check on which node pod is getting created, so we can use -o void. So if you check the output of this node, then it's getting scheduled on the control plane node. So we have successfully created the pod on the control plane node. Next thing was we need to write the reason behind this, why by default pods are not getting scheduled on the control plane node. So we need to write the reason on the control plane node itself, and this location /stem/schedule_pod. vi/temp/schedule_pod. I'll write a reason as control plane node has a taint defined. Save this file. Okay, thank you for watching this video.